So we called his doctor and we said, look, we know we're not family members. We're not asking you for privileged information. We're just telling you what's happening. And the guy said, well, what do you think should be done? And I said, well, how do I know? You know, what are you asking me for? I'm a guitar player. You're a psychiatrist, you know. Do I come and ask you about fucking guitar playing?
On a cold Saturday morning in January 2002, Adam's friends gathered in North London to try to convince him to get help.
He was still manic, but he was very happy, you know. He'd bought us presents and it was great to see you and how are you and blah, blah, blah and all this. And then he said, right, I must go now. And we didn't get a chance to say, no, hang on, Adam, we have to talk to you. No, I've got to go, I've got to go. I'll see you later.
Just remember it being bitterly cold, being scared out of my wits and terrified that something bad was going to happen. It's like a dreamlike state, you know, in a dream you're kind of supposedly watching what's happening, and so it's a bit like that.
And the next day, Sylvie calls me and said, he's in the police station. I said, oh, great, well, what's he done? So he's gone into a pub with a gun and tried to hold it up. To which point there is just like a silence, because there is no words to find to express your kind of... The only thing I could say was, oh, fuck.
On January the 12th, Adam Ant came to this pub in Kentish Town. When he walked in, locals began taking the mickey out of him, whistling the theme tune to the film The Good, the Bad and the Ugly. Adam Ant left, but returned a few hours later armed with a starting pistol and part of a car engine, a heavy alternator, which he said he had found in the street.
2 days after the incident at the pub, Adam Ant was detained for his own protection under the 1983 Mental Health Act. He was back inside the psychiatric ward of a British hospital, and he was back on the front pages.
It was just turning into like the most fantastic disaster. You know, it's like usually sort of celebrities try and keep this stuff out of the paper, and they have teams of people that you have to pay lots of money to try and keep this stuff out of the paper. What does he do? He gets to the hospital and phones the Sun up himself.
This time Adam wasn't reading his reviews. He was hitting an all-time low.
I think people tend to look at One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and except there's no Jack Nicholson and there's no sexy middle-aged nurse, there's none of that. There's nobody doing party pieces. It's not a sort of New York off-Broadway play. It's, you know, people wanting to be dead, people wanting to jump out the window, people, you know, you don't taste the food, you're not interested in sex, you're not interested in talking, you talk too much, the smell of piss, shit. The smell of death, really. Not good.
80s pop star Adam Ant has been charged with assault and
appeared at the Old Bailey
It's
today.
like 80s has been Adam Ant, and we put him on the front page. The whole thing is like funny, it's tragic, it's exasperating, it's entertaining, it's everything all at the same time. It's depressing.
It's funny and peculiar watching celebrities go through their real life and have these kind of terrible mishaps and these terrible moments that mostly would be private, but because he once upon a time was a pop star, we somehow, you know, bring him up to date, but only to enjoy his downfall, as if somehow we get something out of that.
2 decades ago, he was the dandy highwayman of pop. This is Adam Ant now.
What a different-looking man, indeed.
OK, bit of sport now.
Ridicule's nothing to be scared of. It's one of his lyrics.
I was really upset by all the horrid publicity. I mean, poor boy, he was ill.
Morning, sir.
I just thought, all you got to do is walk down this street, go up them stairs and go in and take your medicine. I know that the media are going to be there, and in a way I just tried to work out ways to get through the door without them recognising me.
He did call me up one day. He said, "I've grown a beard." And I said, "Have you?" He said, "Yes. I'm trying to be like Ernest Hemingway." Then we had a sort of discussion about the court case, and I said, "Well, look, you know, I can't, you're not going to go to jail. You know, you were nuts." He said, "Yeah, I know you're right, but I'm still scared about it." And I said, "Yeah, well, I don't blame you, really." And he said, "I'll give you a call next week." And that was sort of last time I spoke to him, really.
All bar one of the charges against Adam were eventually dropped and a 12-month community rehabilitation order imposed. The judge decided Adam was the victim of an illness that had plagued him all his life and which had finally pushed him over the edge.
It's my greatest regret in my life that I put my friends and my loved ones through it. I feel I'll never, ever be rid of the shame and it showed me humility.
It's uncertain when or if Adam will perform again. Since recording these interviews, he's once more had to spend time in hospital. His battle continues against the illness and against the shame.
There's people attempting to kill the stigma and the disgusting prejudice against anybody with mental illness. There is help available, but you have to know where it is and you have to be able to ask for it. And you mustn't feel ashamed of asking for it either. You just have to put the work in. You know, it's that chestnut one day at a time. It's like 1 hour at a time with this, mate. And when you're really sick, it's 1 second at a time.